Welcome. Please comment where you're watching from in the world. So, my friend, super pretty, not an insecure girl like this is, she matches this guy on Hinge. And she actually vets him, because Toronto is small and dusty, and everyone's dating everyone's cousin. They talk on the phone, FaceTime. It's not just 3 messages and pull up. For a week he's normal, charming, funny. He picks a cute spot. They go to Myth, you know the vibe. So she's like, okay, he's trying. They sit down, and here's where it goes left. Right beside them is a table of girls. Regular Toronto baddies, loud, fun, dressed, you know the ones. And the guy she is on a date with, keeps talking to them. Not like, oh hey, you dropped something. No. Like, every time my friend goes to the bathroom, this man is over by their table, laughing, vibing, taking compliments, soaking it in. Or one of the girls will wander over to her table and start talking to him, while she is gone, on a first date, with him. And the girls, this part kills me, the girls are even saying to her, you're so hot, don't even worry about it. Like, girl, if I don't have to worry, why are you in my chair? It was giving, we want him to know we want him. It was also giving, we're bored and we like chaos. So it happens once. Annoying, but okay. It happens again. At this point my friend is like, okay, this is actually weird. This is a first date. You can just tell them, thanks ladies, I'm actually on a date. Like, basic manners. And he's like, they're just pumping my tires. As in, inflating his ego. Sir, your tires are already pumped. You're on a date with a hot girl. You don't need roadside assistance from table 3. So she gets a little quiet, cause what are you gonna do, fight 4 random women over a man you met on Hinge? He clocks it. He goes, are you mad? Because of course he thinks it's about jealousy. And she's like, I just think it's strange on a first date that you're entertaining other women. He does what every dusty man does, calls her insecure. You're just insecure, you're overreacting. Like she didn't just watch him run over to get complimented 3 times. Like she didn't just see the girls come sit down. They kind of patch it in the moment so the night can end. Bill gets paid, he's like, let me drive you home. She says yes because she's a polite Toronto girl and it's late. They get in the car, and this is where it got even more insane. The first thing he says is, laughing, it's so funny how mad you got when those girls were hitting on me. He thought it was cute. He thought he was the main character. He thought he was so handsome it was a comic situation. She's like, yeah, sorry, I just thought it was crazy that. And before she can finish, he goes, you didn't even thank me for dinner. Oh, so now it's not just, I want attention from other women while I'm on a date. Now it's, you owe me gratitude for existing here while I did that. She's like, maybe I forgot to thank you because I was busy trying to figure out why my date was flirting with a whole table. Valid. Then he starts picking other things. Like he's trying to start a fight. You know those guys that get high off conflict? He just kept finding points. She finally goes, you know what, man? I don't even know you. I'm not doing this with you. Just let me out here. Now picture it. This is downtown, near the lake, like Queens Quay/Jarvis area. Not a cute place to be dropped off to cry. But she's done. He lets her out at the Loblaws. She orders an Uber. Uber is like 17 minutes. It's windy, it's late. She's standing there crying because the whole date just nosedived. Uber driver pulls up, sees her face, is like, oh my God, are you okay? She tells him. This man becomes her therapist the whole ride. Comforts her. Says, I'm not even gonna charge you. That was bull. That guy's an idiot. And I'm telling you right now, immigrant cab/Uber drivers are the unsung heroes of the dating apocalypse. Here's the thing though. Everyone's instinct was to say, your friend is insecure. But no. If you're on a date, and you need an audience of other women to tell you you're hot, you are insecure. If you can't tell those women, thanks but I'm taken right now, you're insecure. If you have to weaponize the bill, you didn't even thank me, you're insecure. He was trying to put her under him. She just didn't allow it. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he already knew at least one of those girls. Toronto is that small. Could have been pre-planned. Yo, pull up, I'm on a date. Because nothing says my self-esteem lives in the garbage, like needing 3 strangers to flirt with you while you're literally sitting with a woman who said yes to you. If it were me, when I got up to go to the bathroom the 3rd time, I would have just kept walking. Bathroom, front door, Uber group chat. Because you are not going to make me play musical chairs with side chicks on a Wednesday. So this happened in DC, and I still think about it because the math never mathed. We'd been on a couple dates already, so it wasn't like, Girl, why did you go to his house on the first date? It wasn't giving that. It was giving, we've hung out, we've texted, he cooked for me before, I feel semi-safe, let me go over for a movie night. Right? So I pull up, it's night, it's a little cold, and he's in that good mood men get in when they're about to show off in the kitchen. He's Nigerian. Well, Nigerian by penetration, as I said. So he was doing the whole, I'll cook for you, I'll take care of you, you'll see I'm different thing. So we eat, we put on a movie, lights low, actually a cute night. I'm on the couch, he's on the couch, vibes are fine. He's not being creepy, he's not pushing it, hand on my leg, that's it. And I'm sitting there like, okay, maybe this one is normal. Maybe DC men are not all federal agents with secret wives. Then I hear it, from the bathroom area. Not pipes, not the fridge, like an actual movement. A door. A shift. You know when your body hears another person, even if you can't see them? That. And I literally go, did you hear that? Something just moved. Immediately his whole demeanor changes. Like, you know when a man realizes you saw the thing you weren't supposed to see? His spirit left his body for half a second. He goes, let me check. And I'm thinking he's gonna go in there like, hello? Who's in my house? Like a normal person. He goes to the bathroom, does this quick little in and out, comes back way too fast to have actually checked anything, and instead of telling me what it was, he goes, do you want to go to the balcony? I'm like, no. I'm good here. On this couch. Inside. Where the heat is. He goes again, firmer this time. No, we're going to the balcony. Red. Flag. But he's already walking, so I follow, thinking maybe he just wants fresh air or to show me the view or whatever. We step out there, and the man locks the balcony door. Like fully. Click. Then, this is the part that had me, he closes the blinds so I can't even look in and see what's happening. And I'm standing out there in DC winter on a high-up balcony, no phone, no shoes, little t-shirt and shorts, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to be on the news. This is how women end up in threads. He stays inside. I can see his shadow moving around. He's pacing. He keeps looking toward the hallway where the bathroom is. He looks stressed, like he's trying to decide. Do I let her see? Do I sneak someone out? Do I tell the truth? Meanwhile, I'm outside literally freezing, hugging myself, trying to look through the side of the blinds like, what is going on in there? 5 minutes. Not 1 minute. Not, let me grab something. 5 full minutes in the cold. I'm still thinking, okay, maybe he's setting up something cute, like a surprise. Maybe he wants to talk private on the balcony. Then the rational part of my brain was like, girl, if it was a surprise, he would have put you in the bedroom with your eyes closed. He would not have put you outside, on a balcony, in the cold. That's not romance, that's hiding. So he finally comes out, and he's acting weird, like he just saw a ghost. I'm like, what was that? And he's like, nothing. Nothing. It's nothing. And I'm like, no, it was definitely something because your whole energy changed the moment I said I heard something. He starts doing that man thing where they walk in circles and check their phones like they're waiting on the call. He had 3 phones. 3. I said, why do you have 3 phones? He said, I don't have 3 phones. I said, I literally see 3 phones. He lied about a phone to my face for 5 minutes. So I start putting it together. Either another woman walked in because she still has keys. His ex still lives there / has access. He locks women in rooms the way he just locked me on the balcony. He's doing side business he can't let people see. He finally says 2 days later in a text, after he had time to prepare a lie, that it was someone he used to date who still had access to the apartment, and he didn't know she was coming, and he didn't want drama. Be for real. If that was actually the story, you could have told me in the moment, hey, my ex just walked in, I didn't know, I'll handle it, stand here a sec. I'm a grown woman, I'm not gonna fight your ex. I would have said bet and gone home. But you locked me outside, and you closed the blinds. That's not, I didn't want drama. That's I didn't want you to see. Also, who keeps an ex's key situation like that? In DC? With 3 phones? You work on the hill, but you can't manage your front door? Okay. We matched, we texted, totally normal. Like weirdly normal. He was polite over text, used punctuation, didn't say WID 47 times, didn't send a single unsolicited picture. He was like, I'd love to take you out, I can pick you up. And I was like, sure. Because he offered, and I didn't get murdery vibes. That was my mistake. My standards were no murdery vibes. So he pulls up to my place around 7:30. Already late. Not parking late, not I'm outside late, just late. I get in the car and immediately I smell it, alcohol. Not like we had brunch. Like he pre-gamed the date. I'm like, okay, maybe he had one drink while getting ready, I've done that. We go to this cute, more upscale bar in town. I order a glass of wine. He goes, do you mind if I get a shot? I'm like, no, it's your throat, do what you want. He orders a shot and the same wine I'm having. And I'm like, okay, that's 2 drinks on top of whatever was in your car. He goes to the bathroom right after the drinks hit the table. That's trip number 1. While he's gone, one of my coworkers walks in. He's like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, first date, pray for me. He's like, should I heckle him? And I'm like, LOL, yeah, but we're joking. So I'm already in a good mood. He comes back, we're talking. Honestly, the convo is fine. He's cute, he's tall, he's got that charming boy energy. He's asking decent questions. Then we both have to pee at the same time. We get up, we start walking, I say something to him, and he grabs the back of my neck to pull me closer, so he can hear me. Now, sir, we are in public, on a first date, and you're grabbing me like we're in a parking lot argument. I clocked it. I didn't make a scene, but I clocked it. I was like, okay, you're a little physical when you drink. Red flag number 1. We go back, we sit. We're talking for a while. We finish the first round. I am good. I have to drive myself home, because in my head I was already like, you're not driving me actually. I'm drinking water. This man orders another round, shot plus wine again, after I literally told him, you should drink some water, I don't feel comfortable with you driving me if you're drinking like this. And he hits me with the, if you don't feel safe, I'll get you an Uber, I don't want you to feel unsafe, blah blah blah. Okay, so you heard me, and then you ignored it. He keeps getting up to go to the bathroom. Trip number 2. Trip number 3. Trip number 4. And each time he comes back just a little more wired. And I'm like, wait a minute. I live in a small town. We are not in New York. We are not in Miami. We are not at 3 a.m. This is a Thursday at an upscale bar. Why are you doing bathroom laps? We're talking about deeper stuff now, families, exes, work. And he goes totally casual. I want to be honest with you, my friends got into cocaine. Like, I'm not an addict, but they got me into it. I've spent like $500 this week on coke. I sat there like I said, this week? He said, yeah, but I'm not an addict. Sir, spending rent money on blow in a town with 2 Starbucks is addict adjacent. So I go very calm because I'm not trying to trigger coked up man. Were you going to the bathroom to do coke? And he goes, yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah. So, let's recap. This man picked me up, is my ride, has already been drinking, has now admitted he's doing coke during the date, and is still ordering alcohol. I'm sitting there like, how do I get out of here without making him mad? Because drunk people you can usually manage. Drunk plus coke people? Play stupid games. He keeps talking. He's doing that coked up overshare where he's like, my ex is in my phone, I just didn't change the name, I'm just lazy, I'm not talking to her like that. I didn't ask. I didn't even look at his phone. He just started justifying it, which let me know there are other women, and he wanted to pre-clear it in case someone called. Then, and this is the part that told me to leave, he ordered a 4th round. After I said I was uncomfortable. After we talked about him doing coke. After he said he'd get me an Uber. He still ordered it. That told me, whatever promise he makes, the substance will win. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom and I text my people like 911. I need a ride, I am not getting in his car. My friend, bless her, is like, I'm on my way. I was so relieved I almost cried in the bathroom. I come back out and our waitress, another queen, stops by and leans in low and goes, hey, I get off soon. If you need a ride, I can stay. I was like loudly crying face because other women can feel it when the vibe is off. She saw me, she saw him, she saw the drinks, she saw the bathroom trips, she knew. He comes back from yet another bathroom trip and I grab his hand like, hey, I'm actually gonna go. My friend's coming to get me. He panics. He goes, no, don't go. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Tell her to turn around. Just give me another hour. Another hour? Of what? You doing coke and telling me about your ex? He starts with the whole, you don't see me. You don't know who I am. You don't know my heart. Sir, I have known you for 2 hours and 6 drinks. I know exactly who you are tonight. I stand up. He stands up. People are looking now because they can tell I'm trying to leave and he's trying to keep. And I'm not trying to make a scene, but I'm also not staying with a drunk, coked-up, low-key aggressive man. My friend texts, I'm outside. I hug him because I am too nice, and I say, thank you for the drinks. I'm going home. And I walk. He texted later apologizing, saying he dropped the ball, saying he doesn't usually do that on dates, lie, saying he really liked me. I can laugh about it now, but when it happened I genuinely thought, this is God telling me to stop dating. Because it was just one humiliation stacked on top of another until the finale, which, you'll see. So this was a man I met online, nothing too wild, kinda cute in his pictures, seemed normal over text. He wanted to take me somewhere nice. I was like, okay, Prince Charming. Day of the date, he texts me like, hey, my car is acting up, could you swing by and grab me? That should have been the end. Because ladies, rule number 1, do not pick up a stranger at his house for the first date. But I was in my generous woman era. I said yes. It's like a 45-minute drive for me. I get to his place, and before we leave I ask, hey, can I use your bathroom real quick? And when I tell you, the amount of hair in that sink, I don't even know if it was beard hair, head hair, dog hair. It was just hair. All over. Toothpaste fossils on the counter. And NO toilet paper. Not even the cardboard roll. Just vibes. I was like, okay, we are starting bad. I survive the bathroom. We get in my car. We realize we missed the actual nice dinner reservation he wanted because of all this time. So now we're in that awkward zone of we're dressed, we're out, we gotta eat somewhere. We end up at on the border / random Mexican chain type place. I'm like, fine, margarita, queso, call it a night. We sit down. I order a margarita because I earned it. He says very proudly, oh, I don't drink anymore. I'm like, good for you. Then he tells me why. Yeah, after my 5th DUI, I just decided to stop. 5th. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bro, at that point the state decided for you. But I'm nice, I'm like, oh okay, good for you then. Chips and salsa come out. This is the part y'all remember. He takes a chip, dips, takes a bite, and I swear on everything, 4 of his teeth just plop out onto the table. I froze. I did not breathe. The teeth were just sitting there like, hey girl. What does he do? Does he get embarrassed? Nope. This man picks them up, dips them in his water, swishes them like he's rinsing grapes, and then puts them back in, like Lego pieces. I was just sitting there like, okay, so this is a medical date now. In my head I'm screaming, but I'm also like, okay, we've driven 45 minutes, we missed the other restaurant, we're here, just finish the meal. He starts talking. And when I say talking, I mean TLKNG, oversharing. He lives with his ex-girlfriend's sister and all her dogs. Sir, what? He's telling me about his stomach issues, his court stuff, his attempts to get back on track, how his car doesn't really run right. I'm checking boxes like triangular flag, triangular flag, triangular flag, triangular flag. We finish eating. I'm like, cool, let me get him home, let me go home. I will tell my group chat and be delivered from this. We get back in my car, because remember, he doesn't have his. We start driving. And he goes quiet. And then he goes, my stomach doesn't feel great. I'm thinking, okay, you're lactose, you ate queso, we've all been there, just hold it. Then he shifts in the seat. I look over. This man is fighting for his life. And I just knew. In my spirit, I knew. I literally said, don't you dare. Y'all. He did. In my passenger seat. Not a cute little fart slip. Not a oops. A full-grown man shit. In my car. Right there. I wanted to throw myself out on the highway. The smell hit like a physical object. I had the window down. I had the heat on. I was praying. I was bargaining with God. He's over there dying of shame, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm trying to be a human being because clearly this is the worst moment of his year, but also that is my seat. That is my car. That I drive. That I let you in. We pull up to his place, and I'm doing that quick lean so the smell goes out. He's grabbing his stuff, apologizing, it's a mess. I just want him out so I can go figure out how to disinfect my life. I drop him off, I peel away, windows down, nose out like a dog. I get halfway home, and my phone buzzes. Hey, I think I left my keys in your car. I said, of course you did. Of course you did. Because why wouldn't this night keep going? Why wouldn't I have to drive back to the house of the man who has no toilet paper and 4 removable teeth? I turn around, drive back, pull up outside. I do not get out. I roll down the window. I chuck the keys at his window like a newspaper, and I drive off. I did not even look to see if he caught them. That's between him and God. So we matched on Bumble. He was nice. Like aggressively nice. Calling, FaceTiming, checking in. How was work? How was your day? All that. I kind of liked it because I like to know you're real and not catfishing me from 2012. But he also did something weird very early. 2 days in on FaceTime, he's like, "Oh, my mom's here. You should say hi." Sir, we have not even met. Why am I meeting your mother? Mothers are like season 3 unlockables. But I was being wholesome that day, so I said hi. Should have blocked him there. Anyway, we finally meet. He pulls up, and he does not look like the pictures. Not a total catfish, but the pics were clearly 10 years and 40 cigarettes ago. And that was the second thing. This man reeks of cigarettes. Like, not, I had one last week. Like, I took a smoke bath. And he had told me on the app he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he's healthy, he used to smoke way back. Lie number 2, and it wasn't even 10 minutes in. At that point, I really could have said, you know what, I'm gonna go home. But he had planned something. And this is where I did not love myself enough. The plan was to drive an hour and a half to another state, Ohio, just to get Raising Cane's. Like, that was the date. Crossing state lines for chicken. And normally, if I'm with my girls, that's fun. Road trip, music, vibes. With a man I just met. Different. Very different. But I got in the truck like a clown, so we're going. He talks the entire way. Not like conversation, like a podcast about himself. Job, friends, childhood, his truck, how he used to smoke but quit for discipline, how he would quit for me. Babe, we met 17 minutes ago. Quit for your lungs. We finally get to Cane's, he pays. Okay, thanks, we eat, I'm thinking. Cool, we can go home now. We've already been in the car 90 minutes. We ate, we chatted, date is done. I'm easing toward so I gotta get up early tomorrow. Speech, and he goes, I don't want this day to end. I said, oh, but it will. He did not receive that. We get back in the truck, and as we're driving back toward where my car is, he literally pulls his phone out and buys movie tickets. Like mid-drive. Didn't ask. Didn't say, do you want to see a movie? He just bought the tickets and then told me. I'm sitting there like, okay, kidnapper light. We get to the theater. It is empty. No one else is in there. Already weird. But I'm like, fine, watch movie, go home, shower this man off me. He wasn't even creepy in the theater, I'll give him that. He put his hand on my leg, that was it, no trying to make out in an empty cinema, nothing. Then the movie ends. I stand up. Because that's what you do when the movie ends. Credits rolling, we're done, let's go. This man grabs my hand and pulls me back down like, no, let's just stay, let's just be together. I'm like, be together where? The movie is over. The people are cleaning. I'm looking at the exit, at the employees like, can y'all get him? We are literally sitting there like squatters until an employee comes in and is like, we need to clean, you guys have to leave. If that employee had not come, I swear he would have sat there with me in the dark for another hour. So we leave. I'm thinking, finally. Freedom. No. Because this man still does not want to take me to my car. He's like, we can go back to my truck, put the seats down, I have my work iPad, we can watch a movie in the car. Are you insane? It is dark, we are in your vehicle, we are not watching another movie in a parking lot like I'm a hostage. I was like, no, take me to my car. We're driving, and then his phone rings. And I'm like, oh good, a distraction. He answers, and it is a girl. On FaceTime. And immediately she's doing too much, saying the N-word when she should not be saying the N-word like it's normal. And I'm sitting there like, okay, so you also pick weird women, that tracks. Then they do that thing where she's like, who's that? And he's like, nobody. And then he shows me and she's like, oh, I'm his best friend, sorry girl, I didn't know he was with someone. And I'm like, I actually do not care. I want to go home. He hangs up, I'm reaching for the door, about to say thank you and good night, and this man gets out of his truck, comes around to my side, and LAYS. On. My. Lap. Full-grown man. Laid across me like I was a Tempur-Pedic. No, don't go. I don't want to stop hanging out. This was so fun. Let's do something else. Sir, we have been together 6 hours. 6. Not even husbands get 6 hours of my undivided attention. I have done the road trip, the chicken, the movie, the bonus movie you tried to force, the FaceTime girl. I have paid my debt to society. Let me go. I had to physically remove him. Like push him off, open the door, slide out, get in my car, lock the doors. He's in his truck like waving, like this is normal. He even tried to call me that night like, hey, smiley face. Like, sir, you ate my time. Only good thing? I did take my Raising Cane's leftovers. If I suffered through all that, I was gonna eat my chicken. Okay, so this is the one Tinder date that made me say, yeah, no, I'm actually never doing this again. And I still think about the drive home at night because I was like, oh, I could actually die right now and no one would know where I am. So context, this was summer 2020, Bay Area. I was bored out of my skull. We were all pretending we liked walking and banana bread, and I downloaded Tinder. I always say I hate dating apps, I'm above it, blah blah blah, but then I matched with this guy and he was cute. Like, genuinely cute. Tech-y looking, kind of soft, not scary. And our convos were good. So I broke my own rule and said yes to meeting up. First date, super low stakes. We met in downtown Mountain View, went to Castro Street, got Starbucks. Yes, he paid for my $5 pink drink, and yes, I was impressed because the bar is subterranean. We walked around for like 2-3 hours. Conversation was flowing, no awkward silences, didn't say anything weird about my body count, didn't make it political. For 2020, that was a miracle. Second date, also fine. So by the time we're planning the third date, I'm like, okay, it's fine if I drive, I know the area, I'm not going to be murdered in a parking lot probably. I suggest the drive-in in San Jose. It was like 20 minutes from my house. And I had the minivan. Yes, I was the mom friend with the minivan, don't judge me. So I made it cute. I literally packed blankets and pillows, snacks. I folded the seats down so we could sit in the back and watch. I was like, this is adorable. This is how romance starts. He drives over to my house, parks a street over so my parents don't think I'm being fast. I pick him up, we head to the drive-in. We get there, we park, we're talking, we're laughing. I don't even remember what movie it was because we did not care. The vibes were honestly good. Then we kiss. And when I tell you, it was bad. Like not, oh he's a little rusty. No. It was like someone told him, kissing is just putting your tongue every place, and he believed them. I instantly got the ick. Like, the way your whole body just turns off. That. My lady feelings clocked out. Office closed. But I'm not mean, so I keep it cute. And he's like, no, like, teach me how you like it. Sir, I am not running a class in the back of a Toyota. But I'm like, okay, tilt your head this way, slow down. And I'm literally teaching this man to kiss like I'm 12. And while I'm doing it, I can feel the ick growing. It was like, oh nope, desire gone. Pack it up. So I'm like, okay, well, it's getting late, we should head back. I'm driving, it's dark, it's the bay, but the route back to my house gets kind of empty at night. We're not on a busy freeway, we're on those roads where it's dark. And that is when he decides to switch personalities. First thing out of his mouth. So, have you done stuff with other people before? I was like, we're doing this now. In the dark. In MY car. But I'm honest. I was like, yeah, I had a boyfriend last year. And he goes, oh, that's okay. I won't judge you. Excuse me? Already I'm like, okay, I don't like you anymore, so we can wrap this up. But no, that was just the opener. Because then he starts word vomiting. He starts telling me that he's actually this secret genius who's going to be like the next Mark Zuckerberg. He literally said it. I was like, oh, so you're one of those Silicon Valley boys. He starts talking about his app idea and how people don't understand him yet and how he thinks on a different plane. I was like, okay, weird but not terrifying. Then he goes super calm. I don't really feel emotion like other people. I said, what? He goes, yeah, like when someone falls or gets hurt, I don't feel bad. I just know you're supposed to say, are you okay? So I say it. Not because I care, but because that's what you're supposed to do. I'm still driving. It's dark. I'm a girl. I'm in the car with a man who just said, I don't care when people are in pain. And I'm like, oh, this is how those I survived a date with a killer videos start. He keeps going. He's like, yeah, sometimes I wonder if I'm a sociopath or psychopath. I don't remember which is which, but I know I don't feel things. And I'm like, okay, king of oversharing at night. But I'm not trying to set him off, so I'm just going, MHM. Yeah, that's wild. Then he drops this. He loves doing acid and shrooms because it's the only time I can feel anything. And I'm like, so you put yourself in altered states to simulate human emotion while you are currently in a dark CAR. With me, and I'm driving. At this point I'm doing the math like, okay, I can't kick him out because we're literally not at his car yet. I can't crash. I can't call anyone because I'm driving. I can't pull over because what if he thinks that's an invitation to talk more? So I just speed up. I was like, we're getting home. We finally pull up to the street by my house where his car is parked. I stop, I'm like, okay, bye, ready to never speak again. He opens the door, gets out, and right before I can pull off he leans back in and goes, hey, don't ghost me, okay? I was like, MHM. Yeah, I was absolutely going to ghost him. I start driving away and suddenly bang, he slaps the hood of my minivan. I screamed. I thought he was about to open the door. I stop, I open the door like, what? He goes, oh, I think I left my phone in your car. Sir. The phone was in his hand. He just wanted another reason to keep talking to me. That was the moment I was like, this man is not just awkward, he's unpredictable. So my friend meets this guy, regular way, nothing shady. They're texting, he's cool, energy is good, got the jokes, not too thirsty. Green flags. First date rolls around, and it's actually going well. Like genuinely. No weird comments about her body, no you gonna cook for me though. No surprise kids. They're vibing. Only thing is, she already had plans after. Her homegirl had a graduation party. You know the ones, cute little backyard thing, balloons, everybody's wearing jeans and a nice top, Andy's bringing food. She tells him, hey, I actually gotta go to my girl's grad party after this. And he goes, can I come? Now, most of the time I'd say no. First date, and you want to meet my people? Relax. But she was feeling him, and he was on good behavior, so she's like, okay, yeah, sure, but you can't show up empty-handed. And he's like, of course, I'm not a bum. Cute. So they stop at Target. Great sign. Men who will stop at Target with you to grab a card and a nice little gift. We like. He gets her a card, they're joking in the aisle, it's giving very we've been dating for 3 weeks, even though it's been like 3 hours. That's how comfortable it was. They pull up to the party, she introduces him. This is ____, this is my friend I was telling y'all about. Everybody's like, hey, because her friends are nice. He's talking, he's chilling, no one there thinks, oh, this is about to turn into WWE in the parking lot. That's how normal he seemed. Party starts to wind down, it's time to go. He tells her, can you drop me at the mall? Because allegedly he Ubered an hour to come see her. And she's like, that's fine. Because at this point he's shown effort, he Ubered, he bought a card, he met the friends, he was respectful. So she's like, alright, I'll drop you. They leave the party, get to the car, get in, seatbelts on, very regular. She's in the driver's seat, he's passenger, she's starting the car. And from nowhere, like truly from the shadow realm, this woman runs up to the passenger side, YNKS the door open and yells, what the fuck are you doing? Get out. Get out right now. Come with me right now. Now, at first my friend thought it was a joke. Because sometimes girls are playful, right? You see a cute guy getting in a car, you play, oh my god, come with me instead. So she kind of laughed. Like, okay sis, calm down. But the girl did not laugh. She was dead serious. Face hot, chest out, breathing fast. You know angry girlfriend breathing? That. The guy in the passenger seat goes from cool and collected to chill. That's when my friend realized, oh, they know each other. This is not a random woman off the street. This is not a mistaken identity. This is your girl. The one you didn't mention in the Target aisle. The one you didn't mention at the graduation party. My friend is still in the driver's seat, by the way. She cannot move. Because she's T-boned. There's a car in front of her, car behind her. She's basically blocked in. So all she can do is just turn the music down and watch this unfold in the rear view like she's watching TV. Girlfriend is still at the door. Get up. Get up. And the man is doing limp cat energy like, babe, relax, I'm gonna explain. She is not listening. This woman reaches in and drags him out of the car. Like whole grown man. Yanks him out into the parking lot. And my friend is just sitting there like face with raised eyebrow. They move to the side. Her car is here. The girlfriend's car is kind of parked across so she can't get out. And then it just starts. She starts swinging on him. Not him on her. Her on him. She is chewing him up in the parking lot. She's yelling, he's trying to block, he's trying to calm her down, he's chasing her around the car like, babe, listen. And she is not listening. You know when a woman is past logic? Past, let's talk at home. She was there. My friend is in the car like, do I help? Do I leave? Do I honk? But she can't leave because she's blocked. So she's just sitting, watching her date get beat up. She literally said she turned the volume on the music down, so she could hear the T-face with tears of joy, because if two people are fighting in my parking lot over a man I just went to Target with, I want to know why. She can't hear every word, but she's catching bits. You said you were working, you left me. You think I'm stupid. So clearly this man told his actual girl some story, then pulled up to a grad party like he's single. And the girl was like, no, we're not doing that. Finally, after this whole scene, the girlfriend drags him over to her car, pushes him inside, and they drive off. And he has the audacity to look back at my friend like grimacing face, as if to say, I'll text you. Boy, if you don't. They leave her there, alone, in her own car, in the parking lot. Hair still cute, outfit still cute, heart a little broken but mostly like, did that just happen? She drives home and she's half laughing, half offended, because she was like, we literally talked about cheating on the date. We had a whole, what counts as cheating convo. We talked about emotional versus physical cheating. We were aligned. We were on the same page. And you had a whole girlfriend who will pull up and snatch you out of strangers' cars. And the funniest part? He texted her after. Like, hey, what are you doing? What am I doing? I'm healing. I'm processing. I'm removing you and your WWE girlfriend from my nervous system. That's what I'm doing. This was a couple years back when I was still in my sure, I'll give him a chance era. He'd been DMing me, being really consistent. You're so pretty. I want to take you somewhere nice. It's one of the coolest places in town. All that. And I was like, okay, you plan something? I'll put on a cute dress. I ask him, where are we going? He goes, you'll see. Which already, I like to know if I need heels or sneakers, inside or outside. Are we near water? Is it cold? I'm a planner. He's like, just dress up. It's fancy. So I get dressed. Makeup on, hair done, cute outfit. And I spill oil on my top right before we go, so I'm already annoyed. But I'm like, whatever, I'll keep the jacket on. He picks me up. We're driving. He's hyping it up even more now. Everybody goes here. It's super popular. There was kinda like an incident one time, but it's fine now. I said, I'm sorry, an incident where food is being served? He goes, it's fine, they fixed it. That's not a sentence that relaxes me. We pull up, and it's not even ground floor. It's one of those tall, shiny Miami/Fort Lauderdale buildings where the good stuff is up. We walk in, we get to the elevator. I think we're gonna like floor 12, floor 19. No, this elevator doesn't stop. It just keeps going. 30, 40, 50. At like floor 60 I stop trying to act cute. I'm like, listen, I don't like heights. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot you said that. We're almost there. We are not almost there. We get to like floor 70. 70. He's so proud too. He goes, this is like the tallest restaurant around. I heard tallest, and my stomach was like, I'll be in hell, call me when you're done. The doors open, and it is literally glass and sky. Like floor-to-ceiling views of everything. If you like heights, it's gorgeous. If you're me, it's, I'm going to hurl on this carpet. My knees were doing that wobbly thing. I couldn't even look straight down because it felt like I could just tip over. We walk to our table, and on the floor I see these tracks. Little tracks going around the restaurant. I said, not only are we at the top of the planet, we're moving? He goes totally casual, like he's telling me the specials. Yeah, it used to be a revolving restaurant, but a kid got his head stuck in it, and it decapitated him. But it doesn't revolve anymore. I said, I'm sorry. We went from fancy date to there was a child ghost here in 4 seconds. Why would you tell me that right now? Why would you think that is a fun, flirty fact? Yeah, babe, the view is great, also a kid died. Hello? So now I'm sitting in the sky, in a spinning but not spinning restaurant, with the image of a child getting decapitated. I cannot look out the window because I feel like I'm going to fall. I cannot look at the tracks because I'm imagining heads. I cannot look at him because I want to cuss him out. So I'm just looking at my plate, which, by the way, was bad. Food was not even good. I ordered pad thai. I don't know why I ordered pad thai at 70 floors, but I did, and it was like sticky and sweet in the wrong way. So I'm nauseous from height and from food. To make it better, I'm allergic to alcohol. So I told the server, can I get a virgin mojito? She says, of course. Brings it out. I take 2 sips and I feel warm. I'm like, this is not virgin. I tell him, I think they put alcohol in it. And he's like, oh, just drink it, it's fine. Sir, I will go into hives in the sky. I can't even safely pass out here. At some point I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Because the bathroom was the only room without a death view. I get in there and I can breathe. I'm literally in there giving myself a pep talk like, okay, you cannot cry on a 70th floor. If you cry, the tears will fall 70 floors. I'm texting my friend like, girl, He took me to heaven against my will. Go back out, still high up, still dizzy. He's fine. He's talking about life, talking about business, talking about how much he likes this place and how nobody died here lately. I was like, why is that a sentence? Stop talking about death while I can see all the ways I could die. And the whole time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, was the incident he mentioned in the car this? The child? Because if you tell me before I put makeup on that a child got decapitated there, I would have said, cool, let me put on my flat shoes and go to Cheesecake Factory. We finish eating. I ate like 3 noodles in air. I'm thinking this is over. We can go. But remember, we are 70 floors up. I still have to get back in that elevator. And I'm lightheaded. And I somehow have alcohol in my system. And I'm wearing cute shoes. And I hate heights. So we go to the elevator, and of course we have to wait, because it's one of those slow, fancy ones. And while we're waiting, I'm thinking to myself, this was supposed to be a date, but it felt like a test. Like he wanted to see if I would sit pretty even when I was uncomfortable. Even when he gave me low-key trauma info. Even when I said I don't like heights. Okay, so this is one of those dates where nothing huge happened. Like no one got dragged out the car, no one pooped in a passenger seat. But it was still one of the scariest because it showed you exactly what this man would be like 6 months in. It was like getting a trailer for the movie and realizing the movie is psychological horror. So, she agrees to meet this guy for dinner. They've been talking a few days, nothing wild. He seems grown, professional, kind of proud of his job, kind of likes to talk about himself, but you're like, fine, men do that. They decide to meet there because she's smart. She's not giving her address to a man she hasn't met. Good start. She pulls up. He's already sitting at the bar, salad and a cocktail in front of him. That's already a little weird because y'all were supposed to eat together, but whatever, maybe he was hungry. She sits, they're chatting, it's okay. He talks a lot about himself, job, career, what he drives, all that, but women are used to that. We can hold a conversation through anything. Waitress comes. She orders what she wants, salmon, mashed potatoes, asparagus, like a real dinner. He goes, oh, I already ate. Then why are you here, sir? He just keeps sipping his drink and talking. Food comes out, bartender sets it down. She takes one look at the asparagus and knows. It's one of those steamed with not a lick of seasoning asparagus. You know the ones that taste like hot grass? So in her head she's like, okay, I'm gonna need salt and pepper. She literally just says, normal voice, I know I'm gonna need some salt for this. This man on a first date goes, oh, I don't like a woman who uses salt. Excuse me? Like he's giving commandments. Like he is your nutritionist. Like he's your granddaddy with high blood pressure. He said it with his chest. I don't like a woman who uses salt. Not, I don't use salt. Not, do you have high blood pressure? No, I don't like a woman who. That was the first little control flag waving in the wind. Now some women in that moment would have shrunk and gone, oh okay, I won't use it. Not her. Sis waved the bartender down like a queen and said, can I get salt and pepper please? Because I'm an adult with a tongue, and if I want flavor, I will have flavor. Out the corner of her eye she sees him make a face. Like legit annoyed. As if she disobeyed him. As if he had laid down a rule and she broke it. And that was the moment she was like, oh, you think you run me. So she salts her asparagus. Not the whole bottle, just enough for her food to taste like food. Puts a little pepper. Starts eating. And he goes, I can't believe you did that. Again, first date. She turns to him like, believe what? And he says, I told you I don't like a woman who uses salt. She said, well, you ain't gotta like me 'cause I like me. Face with tears of joy legend. Then she laid it out. We've never had a conversation about my health. I didn't tell you I had hypertension. I didn't tell you I was on medication. You don't know anything about me, but you're telling me what I can and can't eat on date 1. Because that's what was really happening. It wasn't about sodium. It was about obedience. He wanted to see if she would do what he said over something tiny. Because if you do, then later it's, I don't like women who wear that. I don't like women who go out. I don't like women who post. I don't like women who have male friends. It always starts small so you don't notice the pattern. And she clocked that. She clocked that earlier too, because before the date he was doing little pushy things. He really wanted to pick her up from home, no. He really wanted to know where she lived, no. He called her stubborn when she said she'd meet him there. That's not, he likes you. That's, I want to establish access and control early. She said, I'm cautious, and he heard, defiant. So now they're at dinner, he's mad about Salt, she's looking at him like he's crazy. And he's not backing down. He's not like, my bad, that came out wrong. He's like, no, I just don't like that. As if her taste buds and her boundaries are a personal attack on him. She's thinking, okay, I'll just get through the meal and dip. They finish. He lets her eat, but the vibe is off now. She's uncomfortable. He still keeps talking about himself, what he has, what he does, why women didn't work out before, but it's reading like every woman before you didn't like being told what to do either. They go outside, she's ready. She says, I don't think we should do a second date. He's shocked, confused. Why? Because of course he thinks they were vibing. Of course he thinks he's a catch. She lays it out like an adult. You were overbearing about picking me up. You wanted to know where I live. You called me stubborn for having boundaries. You talked about yourself the whole time. Then you tried to control what I put on my food. And instead of being like, you know what, you're right, I overstepped, he goes, I don't see where I was wrong. Of course you don't. Controlling people never see where they're wrong because in their head, the right woman just folds. The right woman just says, okay, daddy, no salt. The right woman lets them pick her up. The right woman tells them her address. The right woman changes herself to fit. She was not that woman. And that's why this was such an important bad date story, because a lot of girls would have gone. It's just Salt. He paid. He's nice. Then 5 dates in, he's like, I don't like women who wear that lipstick. Then, I don't like when you go out with your friends. Then, I don't like when you talk to your mom about our relationship. Then, I don't like when you tell me no. It never stays about Salt. So picture it, Fort Lauderdale/Miami area, one of those nights where it's humid but cute humid. Hair is cooperating. You've done your makeup for indoor lighting, not outside sun. He's been hyping this place up all week. It's one of the coolest spots in town. Everyone goes there. Super popular. You know the type, he's trying to act like he's plugged in. She asks, where is it? He's like, I'll show you. Men love surprise plans that are only surprises because they haven't actually planned. She asks again, is it casual, is it dressy? He's like, dress up. So she dresses up. Like dresses up. Nice top, cute trousers, heels, hair, perfume. Even said, I'm not lactating, it's an oil stain, before she left the house faced with tears of joy. They get in the car, they're driving, and on the way there he casually goes, yeah, there was like a little incident there once, but it's fine now. Sir, incident is not date vocabulary. Incident is hospital vocabulary. Incident is police vocabulary. But he says it like it's nothing, so she's like, okay, maybe someone got too drunk there or something. They pull up at this super tall building. You know the ones, all glass, valet out front, looks like money. She's thinking, okay, maybe he did plan something nice. They walk in, go to the elevator, and the elevator just keeps going. Like floor 30, 40, 50, 60. She's trying to smile, but she's like, why are we going to heaven? He finally says it's the tallest restaurant around. So they get out, it's that crazy high-up view, and she's low-key nauseous because she's scared of heights. But she's trying to be a good sport. They get sat, she's trying to eat, but she's feeling kind of sick, and then the food also isn't hitting. So we're already at, this could have been Cheesecake Factory. But that's actually not even the bad date I'm supposed to be telling you. That's just the same era of dates these girls were having. The Miami/FLL, one that actually made me go nope, is this. She meets this guy, they're talking, he's like, let me take you out, I know a spot. Again with the I know a spot. He's cute, he's social, you can tell he knows people. He picks her up, they drive, it's going normal. They get to the restaurant, they sit down, order food. Then 2 dudes walk in. Not random dudes. Not fellow diners. 2 dudes. You know how you can tell when a man is part of a man's actual life? The way he's like, yo, bro, it's been forever. That energy. They come over to their table, dap him up. What's up, bro, how you been? Quick little catch up, and then they go to the back. Not to eat. To the back. She clocks it like, okay, he knows people. A couple minutes later he's like, I'ma go to the bathroom real quick before the food comes. Totally normal. Date bathroom trip. Men do that. 5 minutes go by. That's normal. 7 minutes go by. Okay, maybe line. 10 minutes go by. Now we're in Did He Fall In territory. She's sitting there, alone, at a table for 2, dressed up, food's about to come, and her date is gone. The server comes by like, everything okay? And she has to do that embarrassing, yeah, he just ran to the bathroom. He'll be right back. Because you don't want to admit your date disappeared. You don't want to be the girl left at the table. Food comes. Still no man. At this point, she's pulling out her phone, texting him. Hey, everything okay? No response. She's looking around at the entrance to the bathroom. Nothing. She's starting to think, did this man actually leave me? Because we've seen that TikTok, the one where the guy ditched when she went to the bathroom. So she's running contingency plans in her head. Then he finally comes back. But he's weird. Like off. Like whatever conversation they were just having in the back was not about stocks. He's a little too calm, a little too floaty. She's like, where'd you go? And he's like, oh, I was on the phone. Which is already a lie because earlier he said he was going to the bathroom. Then he says he ran into those guys from earlier. So now we have two stories, phone plus bathroom plus guys. She's like, you could have just said you had to take a call. And he's like, no, it's nothing, it's nothing. And he's moving around in his seat, checking his phone, pacing energy while sitting down. That nervous, I'm waiting on someone to text me that the drop is done energy. You know it. She's like, okay, I'm gonna eat. She starts eating. He picks at his food. Doesn't finish. Barely touches it. Eyes keep darting to the door. She's like, I don't think you should drive me home. Because by now she's figured it out. He's on something or he's in something. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm sober. Sir, you were gone 15 minutes and came back acting like your soul is on FaceTime. He pays, they leave. She's like, I'm just gonna call an Uber. He's like, why? I'll take you. She's like, I don't think you should. He's like, I'm fine. And he says it a little too loud. Little too defensive. That's how you know. Then, this is the part that actually made it scary. Instead of walking toward the nice, well-lit front of the building, he cuts down a little alley between buildings. It's a shortcut to the car. And she said her spirit said, nope. Because alleys plus men who lie plus mysterious bathroom meetings? That's how you get on the news. She literally said she waited till he went a few steps in, and then she ran. Not a cute jog. Not a teehee. Ran back toward the busy strip. He doesn't even realize at first because he thinks she's behind him. By the time he clocks it, she's already near people. She ducks into a crowded bar, smartest thing, because if he follows her and they're acting crazy, there are witnesses. She sits, orders something just to be sitting, pulls out her phone, calls an Uber to her parents' house because she was like, he is not following me home. And that's the thing. That's why this is a bad date, not just he was weird. She could feel she didn't actually know what he was up to. The 3 phones from the DC story. Same vibe here, just in Miami. When a man disappears mid-date, comes back jumpy, gives you 2 different reasons for leaving, and then tries to walk you through a low-visibility spot. You listen to your gut. She gets in the Uber. She tells the driver what happened. The driver's like, no, that was good, that was smart to run. She goes to her parents, sleeps there. He texts later, sorry, I had to take a call, you came at a bad time. That phrase, you came at a bad time, is the universal, I was doing something shady and you saw it. I met this man through a mutual friend. We were DMing for a couple weeks, flirty but not nasty, like that perfect zone where you're excited but still pretending to be chill. He had that calm confidence I like. Not too eager, not too distant. He could hold a conversation, make me laugh, talk about real stuff. We FaceTimed a couple times, and yeah, I'll be honest, there was chemistry. Like the kind where you're already thinking, if this goes well, I might risk my hair bonnet tonight. So we decide to do dinner. He picks this nice rooftop spot, cute view, chill music. He's already there when I arrive, stands up, pulls out my chair. Okay, points. He smells good. Looks better than his pictures. And he says, wow, you look beautiful. That line is overused, but when it's said the right way, it hits. I was like, okay, we're off to a solid start. Dinner's going great. He's asking questions, telling stories, not trauma dumping, just light, fun, flirtatious. You can tell he's into me, but not in a creepy way. I'm sipping my drink, laughing, touching his arm here and there. It's giving movie montage of 2 people falling in love. After dinner, he's like, wanna grab another drink? There's a lounge a few blocks away. I'm feeling brave, feeling tipsy, so I'm like, sure. We walk, he puts his hand on my lower back, again the right way. I'm like, okay, maybe I've misjudged men. Maybe they're evolving. We get to the lounge, dim lights, velvet couches, good R&B. We order another round. The conversation gets a little more flirty, a little more grown. Like we're talking turn-ons, but in a chill way, not a send nudes way. He's teasing me about my good girl energy, and I'm teasing him back like, you talk a lot for someone who probably doesn't have follow through. It's playful, it's spicy, but it's respectful. Then he goes, you want to go somewhere quieter? Now, I'm not dumb. I know what that question means. But it's still early, and he's been cool all night, so I'm like, where? He says, just my place, 5 minutes away. I'll call you a ride back after. He doesn't pressure, doesn't grab, just lets it sit there. And my dumb brain goes, 5 minutes, quiet place, maybe I'll just see where it goes. So we go. His apartment? Immaculate. Clean, candles lit, smells good. Like, suspiciously clean for a man. I'm side-eyeing like, okay, who staged this? But it's cozy. He puts on music, low volume, pours wine. I'm on the couch, we're still talking, still laughing. Then he leans in and kisses me. And it's good. Like, good. That slow, confident kiss that's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm thinking, okay, this could go somewhere. Then it shifts. Not in a horror way. In a weird way. Because he pulls back, looks at me dead serious, and goes, I want to tell you something. I'm like, okay. He says, I don't sleep with women who've been with a lot of men. Record scratch. I said, excuse me? He's like, it's not you. I can tell you're classy. But I just don't mess with women who have too much mileage. I literally laughed because I thought he was joking. I said, mileage? What am I, a Honda? He doesn't laugh. He's dead serious. He starts going on this little TED talk about purity and high-value women and energy transfer like he's been watching YouTube gurus for breakfast. I said, babe, we just met. You're giving podcast. He keeps going. He's like, I just think a woman should protect herself. You can tell when a woman's been passed around. And I'm sitting there like, you were just kissing me like you wanted to risk it all 2 minutes ago. Now suddenly you're talking like an angry Reddit moderator? Then he hits me with, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've had my fun, but it's different for men. I said, oh, we're doing the double standard chapter now. He's like, it's not a double standard, it's biology. Sir, you are not biology. You're a delusion with a haircut. At this point, I'm fully out of the mood. Like Sahara Desert. I grab my purse, and he's still talking, trying to explain his philosophy. I stand up, and he's like, wait, where are you going? I said, to protect my mileage. He's like, you're leaving? I said, yes, because I don't have time for a man who thinks women expire faster than milk. And I walk toward the door, and he says, and I swear to God this happened, so you're not going to prove you're different? I turned around and said, if you want a virgin, call the Pope. I'm not auditioning for your insecurity. And I left. I'm halfway down the hall when I realize he didn't even call me a ride. So I'm standing on the street, heels in my hand, calling my own Uber, looking like a glamorous fool under a streetlight, thinking, I really thought I was about to have a cute little grown-ass night, and instead I got a sermon. The next day he texts me, you're actually really sexy, I think I judged too fast. I'd still like to see you again. I said, nah, I don't think your biology would allow it. Blocked. I swear dating right now is like walking into a haunted house blindfolded. You think you're just gonna get a little spooked and then go home, and then boom, racism on a Sunday. So this actually happened to me. Not my friend, not a girl I follow, me. I was talking to this guy online, nothing serious, just a couple days of messages, and I was the one who said, hey, it's Sunday, let's watch football and get a drink. Because sometimes I like to be the one to move it along. We're adults. I don't need you to plan a yacht. Just meet me at a bar and don't be weird. He was like, yeah, for sure. Energy was good. He was white, cute, very, I go to the gym and wear team merch, seemed normal. We meet at this bar, sit down, order drinks, watching the game, talking trash about the teams, very regular. I am not a what's your number girl. I do not care. We are grown. I care if you're clean, safe, emotionally stable, and not a murderer. That's it. We're talking about exes and random hookups because football will do that. You start telling stories. I casually mention a guy I hooked up with before. I don't make it a big thing. Just, yeah, I dated this guy for a bit, blah blah. He goes, wait, he was black. I said, yeah, I'm aware. I literally said it like that because I thought he was just clocking it, not judging it. Like, oh, he was black. Yeah. We move on. Nope. His whole face changes. Like I told him I ran over his dog. He leans back and goes, you fucked a black guy? Loud. Like we're not in public. Like the bartender wants to hear. I was so taken aback I just blinked. Because yes. And also, why do you sound like my ex-husband from 1952? He starts getting intense. Like he jumped 3 levels of intimacy and went to, I know you territory. We've been sitting here for 30 minutes. You do not know me, sir. He goes, that's disgusting. Why would you do that? At this point, I'm like, okay, date over. Like the conversation has left getting to know you and entered, you're a closet racist zone. I'm not educating you. I'm not talking you out of it. I'm not debating you. I was like, what is wrong with you? He starts talking about they're dirty, and I would never, and I don't want to be with someone who's been with, and I literally stopped him. I said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And I meant bathroom like exit. Because I had driven myself. I was fully prepared to just walk out, block his number, and call it a win. I go to the bathroom, splash some water, text my group chat. Girl. He left. Because I was bracing for it. I come back out, and when I tell you, he was gone. This man had straight up left. Like a toddler who got mad. Didn't pay for my drink, didn't say bye, didn't even stay to argue. Just left the bar. And I'm not gonna lie, it was actually perfect. Because I was gonna leave anyway and now I didn't even have to do the awkward. Yeah, so I'm gonna go spiel. I sat back down at the bar, ordered another drink, and started talking to the bartender like, girl, let me tell you what this man just said. Bartender's name was Tara. Shout out to Tara. She was like, knew he did not. I told her everything. She was like, what in the actual fuck is dating right now? We ended up talking for like 45 minutes. I made a new friend. The date wasn't a total waste. I turned a racist tantrum into girl time. But let me tell you why it hit so hard, because before that moment, he was fine. He was normal. He was funny. He was attractive. He wasn't saying wild political stuff. He didn't have a MAGA hat on. He didn't lead with, I only date white women. He didn't put no chocolate in his bio like the losers do. He was just a dude. And then the moment I said I'd slept with a black man, all the ugly shit came out. And that's what makes dating scary. Not the obvious monsters. Not the guys who have no blacks in their profile. The ones who are perfectly nice until they feel diminished. Until they feel not special. Until they realize they're not the first. And then they start talking to you like they own your entire sexual history. Also, let's be so serious. I'm not going to sit here and let a man who works a normal job, has a normal body, normal life, tell me I can't ever touch a black man because of his fetishized idea of clean. Boy, if you don't go Google a CDC report and stop being weird. And the part that makes me laugh is, we weren't even close to having sex. Like, the date wasn't going there. We were having a drink and watching football. You're already policing the I've had in my life when you haven't even earned a hug yet. You don't even know if you're on the roster. You don't even know if you're going to get a second date. You already want access to my sexual past? For what? So you can feel like the white savior of my bedroom? Be serious. Also, and I need to say this, the way he said it was jealous. It wasn't moral. It wasn't, I believe in only dating within my race. It was jealous. It was, I can't compete with whoever you were with, so I'm going to shame you for it. That's the energy. And that's why it's extra gross. Because it's not even some coherent belief system. It's insecurity plus racism plus D***** envy. I sat there with Tara, and I was like, I feel like I should be madder. And she was like, no, you should be grateful. He showed you on date 1. Imagine 6 months in. And she was right. Because 6 months in, that guy is the one who says, don't bring your black friend over. Why are you watching that show? Why do you wear your hair like that? Why do you follow him? It always comes out. So better in 30 minutes than in 30 weeks. So this was a Bumble guy. We'd been talking on the phone for about a week before we met, which I actually like. I want to hear your voice. I want to know if you breathe like Darth Vader. I want to know if you can hold a conversation that isn't copy-paste. He was calling, FaceTiming, checking in. I was like, okay, consistency, we love it. Red flag number 1, which I filed under quirky instead of run, was that like 2 days and he put his mom on FaceTime. We hadn't met yet. I was in a hoodie, hair in a claw clip, and he's like, Ma, say hi. Sir, why is your mother meeting people from Bumble? This is not a meet the parents era. This is the, I don't even know if you chew with your mouth closed era. But again, I was being soft. I was like, ha ha hi, when I should have said bye. Day of the date comes. He's like, I'll pick you up. I said, no, we can meet there and I'll get in your car after. I don't give my address to strangers. That rule has saved my life. He's a little too pushy about it. I promise I'm not a serial killer, which, BTW, is exactly what a serial killer would say. But I hold the line. We meet at a grocery store parking lot. Neutral territory. I'm on the phone with my sister like, he's late, I'm nervous. A truck pulls up, and it's him, but not really him. Like, it is him, but also not the Bumble him. The pictures were very much high school/college era. This was adult him. With the miles. With the cigarettes. With the I drive a truck face. I was like, so we're starting with a lie. Red flag number 2. He had told me he doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, super clean. I hate the smell of cigarettes, blah blah. He gets out the truck and smells like he slept in an ashtray. I have asthma. Smoke makes me wheeze. I was like, oh, so that was lie number 2. At this point, 90% of women would have said, you know what, I'm gonna go. I did not, because I had not yet fully stepped into my I can leave era. I was like, well, I'm already here. Stop doing that. Don't be like me. The plan was to go to Raising Cane's in another state. Like, we were gonna drive an hour and a half to Ohio for chicken. And because I do that with my friends, I thought, oh, this is fun. Except, with my friends I know we're coming back. With a man I met on Bumble, I just agreed to cross state lines like an Uber Eats order. I got in the truck anyway. Clown behavior. He talked the whole drive. About himself. About how he can quit smoking for me. We met 12 minutes ago. About his childhood. About how he doesn't do substances. Which was funny because I could smell the Marlboro on his coat. But okay. We get to Cane's. He pays. We eat. It's actually fine. I was like, okay, maybe he's a little weird, but this is okay. It should have ended there. Drive home, drop me at my car, goodbye. But this man was not ready for the date to be over. At all. We finish eating and I start that polite girl exit speech. I gotta get up early, I have stuff to do. And he is not receiving it. He's like, I'm having so much fun, I don't want this to end. I laughed and said, oh, but it will. I thought that was clear. He did not think it was clear. Because on the drive back, this man pulls out his phone while he's driving and buys movie tickets. Doesn't ask. Doesn't say, do you want to see a movie? Just buys them. Like I'm a child he's dragging around on his Saturday errands. We go to the movies. It's empty. Which, okay, cute private theater, I guess. He's actually not creepy in the theater. He puts his hand on my leg, that's it. No weird groping. So I'm like, okay, at least he's not a predator, he's just clingy. Movie ends. I stand up. Because the movie ended. The lights are coming on. The staff is literally waiting. This man grabs my hand and pulls me back down like, no, let's just stay. Let's just be together. Be together where? The show is over. Marvel did the post-credit scene already. We have to leave. The employees had to come in and tell us to go. If they hadn't, I genuinely think he would have sat there for another hour just vibing in the dark with me trapped. We leave and I'm like, okay, it's late. Take me to my car. He's like, what else can we do? We could lay the seats back in my truck. I have my work iPad. We could watch another movie. I said, I am not getting in the back of your truck. Because that's when we go from clingy to crime show. He still drives me to my car, but as we're parking, his phone rings. He answers. I'm thinking he's gonna decline because date nope. He answers a girl on FaceTime. And not just any girl. A girl who is saying the N-word way too comfortably. Which was weird because he had been talking to me about values and good girls and whatever. Now you're on FaceTime with racist Rachel? She's like, who you with? And he says, no one. Then he shows her me like, see. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were on a date. Girl, be sorrier for the word you just used. He hangs up, I'm like, alright, thank you for the date, I'm gonna go. I open my door. This man gets out of his truck, walks around to my side, and LAYS. On. My. Lap. Full-grown man. Full date. Full traffic day. Lays on me like a toddler who doesn't want to leave the park. He's like, no. Stay. I don't want this to be over. I had to peel him off me. Like, physically. He was heavy. I was like, sir, I have to go home. You do not live with me. I get in my car and lock the doors because at this point it's giving clingy, unstable, and I do not want him trying to talk through my window. He waves like everything's normal. He even tried to call me later. Like, you ate 7 hours of my time and thought we were going to debrief? And here's where I add the YouTube-friendly NSFW bit, because I know someone's going to say, well, maybe he was just really into you. No. This wasn't horniness. Horny men go home. They try their luck, you say no, they go home and handle it. This was possession. This was I liked how this felt, and I want to keep it going until I say stop. That's the same energy as dudes who try to have 12-hour first dates, so you can't have plans with anybody else. It's low-key love bombing. No, I don't want to cuddle in the back of your truck with your work iPad while your FaceTime girlfriend says slurs. I need to talk about the date that actually made me tip 150% out of sheer secondhand embarrassment, and also made me re-download the dating apps just to delete them harder. So context, we'd been talking for like 2 days. Very standard, very safe, nothing spicy. I'm a big believer in let's just meet, because I hate texting for 3 weeks and then realizing in person you breathe weird. So I picked a cute touristy area, lots of people, shops, coffee, places to walk, because if it was bad I could abort. Public dates are God's gift. I get there first. He says he's parking. He walks up, and yes, he looks like his pictures, mostly, but something about him was just off. Not catfish, just the energy. But I was like, okay, maybe he's nervous. I can carry this. We're standing there, making small talk, and I can tell he's stalling. Not like, I'm shy. Like, I don't want to commit to buying anything yet. I'm like, okay, weird, but whatever. The whole idea was let's grab coffee, and I'm in my cute little day outfit, ready to sip a latte and talk about childhood traumas. We finally walk into this cafe. It's not even fancy, just a nice spot. We sit. We talk. He's telling me about his job, where he's from, how he just sold his startup. Yes, he mentioned the money within 15 minutes, so you know where this is going. And it's all very, I'm doing well. I'm nodding, asking questions, doing the polite woman thing. Then the server comes over and asks, "Can I get you anything to drink?" I say, "Yeah, can I get a water and a sandwich?" Because I hadn't eaten. It was a midday date, I was hungry, I am not about to starve for a stranger. And I didn't even order something wild, I got a sandwich. Maybe a side. Like $15. Normal. He goes, "Oh, I already ate." I said, "Okay, cool. People do that. Sometimes you eat before a date, so you don't spiral." I get it. The food comes out and listen, it smelled so good. You know when you were kind of hungry but not starving, and then food hits the table, and your stomach is like, actually we are dying. That. I start eating, and this man goes, "Oh, that smells good." I looked at him like, "Do you want some fries?" Because I'm not a monster. If you're sitting across from me eyeing my food, I'll share. We're not in prison. So I slide the fries a little closer to the middle. Y'all. This man starts. Going. To. Town. Like, not, "I'll grab one." Not, "I'll try a little." Not, "Oh thanks." He unwraps the extra set of silverware the server put down. You know how they do when they assume both of you are eating. And he digs in like we are sharing. Like we are in a relationship. Like we have a mortgage. I'm watching him like, I did not sign up for communal dining. He's killing the fries, so I'm like, "Do you want half my sandwich?" Because at this point it's more awkward to pretend I don't see him inhaling my food. I'm trying to be gracious. He goes, "No, I'm not that hungry." While eating the fries. I said, "So you're hungry for my food?" He laughs like I'm joking. I was not joking. And I know some of you are like, "Well, you offered." Yes, I offered a bite. I did not offer for him to enter my plate like a raccoon. This man ate the majority of the fries, and then this is the part that really sent me. He ate the little bread/pretzel thing that came with it. I hadn't even touched it yet. He just claimed it. I'm sitting there chewing my half sandwich like, okay, noted. This is a taker. We finish eating, well, I finish what he left me. We keep talking. It's fine, not fireworks. He talks about himself a lot. He's one of those my company, my goals, my car guys, but I can survive a coffee date with that. I drink my water, he drinks his coffee. We've been there maybe 40 minutes. I decide, okay, I've done my good deed for the day, I can go. I call the server over and I say very clearly, "Can I get the check so I can pay for my food?" Because I didn't expect him to pay. He didn't eat. I ate. I am a grown woman. I can pay for my sandwich. Server brings the check. Sets it down. I look. It's for everything. My sandwich, my drink, and his coffee. It's like $20.50 total. I'm like, cool. I grab my wallet. This man wait for it, pulls out his wallet, pulls out 5 ones and goes, "I'll pay for my coffee," and slides $5 across. Then, this is the part that made me see red. I saw a $20 bill in his wallet. He looked at it, then put it back. So now I'm holding a $20.50 bill. He has eaten half my food. He has $20. And he has decided he will contribute $5 for his $4 coffee and no tip. I was so embarrassed for him I over-tipped like crazy. I was like, you know what, give her $30. Because I didn't want that server to think we were together. I wanted her to know, no babe, this is not my man. I don't align with his stinginess. He is just here. And you know what made it worse? On the date, he had literally been bragging. About his car. About his deposits. About money hitting his account. I saw with my own eyes the year deposit of $200,000 has posted text. He showed me his Lamborghini. His Tesla. His 2020-something. Told me about the Bentley. He's doing that thing where guys think telling you about their stuff is gonna make you want them. How are you showing me 6 figures on your phone and then asking me to cover $20.50? Be so serious. We go outside. I'm like, okay, that was fun, have a good night. He goes, can I walk you to your car? I said, I would rather be walked by a stranger. Literally said that in my head. Out loud I said, no, I'm good. Because here's the kicker. He'd also been weird about getting to the date. He wanted to pick me up. I said no. He wanted to know where I lived. I said no. He called me stubborn. So in his head, he's already mad I have boundaries. Then inside, he tries to assert dominance over salt and over the bill. Yes, it's the same pattern across these dates. On the way home I was just thinking, this is the math. You bragged about 200K. You bragged about a Lumbo. You bragged about multiple cars. You ate my food. You put a $20 back in your wallet. You left the tip to me. And you still wanted to walk me to my car. Like, imagine us actually dating. Imagine us going out to eat regularly. Imagine the holidays. Imagine me ordering a steak and this man being like, I'll pay for my iced tea. I would simply perish. And listen, I am not a men must always pay girl. I have paid. I have split. I have said, I got this one. I am fair. But what we not gonna do is perform wealth and then go Dutch on $20. That's not about money. That's about character. Also, and here's the slightly NSFW but YouTube friendly part. If a man is that stingy over $20, imagine the bedroom. Sorry. I said it. If you're rationing fries, you are rationing foreplay. If you can't be generous with your wallet on date 1, you are not about to be generous with your tongue. That's just science. And another thing, the way he watched me eat, like he was waiting to see how much I'd let him take. That's the same way controlling men watch you in relationships. How much will she put up with? How much can I use? How much can I get away with? Today it's fries. Tomorrow it's your time. Next week it's your body. Next month it's your car. It never stays small. So yeah, I paid the bill, tip big, said bye, went to my car, and sat there like, did I just go on a date with a man who has $200,000 and no 50 cents for the tax? I texted my friend and she was like, girl, that wasn't a date. That was community service. So this was peak pandemic LA. I'd been in LA from Sydney for a bit, bored, locked down, missing proper coffee, missing people who say reckon. And I thought, fine, I'll go on a daytime coffee date. Daytime dates are safe. Daytime dates are cheap. Daytime dates let you disappear without mascara running. I picked somewhere touristy on purpose. I get there first, obviously, because I'm punctual and not unserious. He messages, be there in 5. He lies. It's LA, everyone lies about time. He finally walks up, and I clock it straight away, Nigerian Brit. Accent is London but rich, outfit is LA but trying, cologne is too much for 11:30 a.m. He looks at me like he's loading a new character on a PlayStation. You know when a man is doing that microsecond recalculation? That. He goes, oh, I thought you were lighter. I said, well, I'm not. Slightly smiling face dry. Aussie. Straight. No smile. Because what are you actually supposed to say to that? Sorry for the melanin? I'll bleach for the second date. Be serious. He tries to save it with, no, you look nice, I just your photos. And I said, my photos are in the sun. This is shade. That's how light works. I could have left right there, but it was 2020 something, and I hadn't spoken to a real human in 3 days. So I was like, fine, let's see how bad it gets. We're standing there outside the cafe. And when I say outside, I mean outside. Pandemic outdoor tables, queue masks, the whole thing. He's kinda stalling. Not sitting, not lining up, just talking. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's waiting for the line to go down. No. He's waiting to see if I'm gonna go. Do you want anything? Over a $5 coffee. Men who test generosity on micro amounts are actually the scariest men. I will die on that hill. He starts with his CV. So yeah, I sold a startup. Of course you did. I'm consulting for a fund right now. Of course you are. I'm back and forth between here and London. Of course you are. Lagos is popping right now. I know, babe, the whole internet knows. I'm nodding, smiling, giving polite expat energy. He does the whole, you know how it is, and I'm like, no, I actually don't, I work a normal job. Face with tears of joy. Then we get to the thing. He goes, I honestly thought you were Aussie, like Australian. I said, I am. I just happen to be Caribbean as well. He makes that face African Brits make when their brain has to admit black people live in other countries. Like, Afro, Australian? I said, Afro-Trini raised in Sydney. We exist. Shocking. Then he says it. Online you looked more average Aussie. I said, average white. He goes quiet. Because that's what he meant. He thought I was gonna pull up giving Bondi girl tan, maybe Greek, maybe Lebanese, soft Instagram baddie, and God sent him a dark-skinned Sydney girl with an actual accent. Now he has to deal. So I'm like, okay, let's get this over with. I go, do you want to sit? He goes, we can. Or we can walk. I go, do you want coffee? He goes, we can, if you're getting something. Excuse me? I look straight at him like, we're not doing this. If you ask me on a coffee date, you should be psychologically prepared to buy at least one coffee. I was not expecting Nobu. I was not expecting a bottle. I was not even expecting an almond croissant. I was expecting $5 Australian, $5 US dollars, which is like $48 Australian, of liquid and a seat. He's still talking, still not moving toward the line. I actually got thirsty. Like physically. I'd walked to the spot. It was hot. LA sun. Mask. And this man was giving let's just stand here and talk, outside the actual cafe. Sir, I did not drive across town to do improv on the footpath. We finally sit. No drinks. Just vibes. I'm watching people sip cold foam, and I'm sitting there raw-dogging oxygen like a peasant. He's still bragging. When I sold my startup, when we exited, we did like low 7 figures. It's always low when they don't want to say the number. He's telling me about his stocks, his apartment in West Hollywood, the gym he goes to, all the things he could do, the trips he could take. Meanwhile, I am calculating, you could buy me a latte. And then he goes, I like that you're not like doing too much. I said, I literally just wore jeans. He said, yeah, you real like not those LA girls. I said, you didn't even buy me coffee. He laughed, like I was being cheeky. I wasn't being cheeky. I was parched. This is where it gets low-key creepy. Because then he goes, to be fair, yeah, I thought you were Aussie. Like beach girl. You were giving that online. I said, and now I'm giving what? He said, you're still pretty, just different. Different equals darker than I hoped, but I'm here now, so let me at least see if she's fun. He kept studying my face like he was adjusting settings. I could literally see him thinking, can I introduce her to my friends? Is she too black for the brand? Can I still flex this? That's why he didn't rush to get coffee. He was trying to decide if I was worth spending anything on. We're like 25 minutes in. He has not asked me one follow-up about my life. Every time I start to say something, yeah, in Sydney he interrupts with, oh yeah, in London, like he's having a date with himself. Then, and this is the part that killed me, he goes, you're kinda quiet. I said, I'm thirsty. He said, huh? I said, I came for coffee. He said, oh yeah, I didn't know if you were drinking. Sir, it's a coffee date. Neutral face. So I decided to do a social experiment. I said, yeah, I'll grab one. And then I just waited. I looked at him. I looked at the cafe. I looked back at him. I did not move. He did not move either. He just sat there, watching me, to see if I would get up and pay. Over $5. Over an iced latte. Mr. We exited for 7 figures, wanted me, immigrant girl, pandemic, out of country, to get up and pay for my own coffee on a date, he suggested. That's when I knew. Oh, you're one of those men who audition women with tiny spending. If you pay, you pass. If she pays, you keep taking. If she questions it, you call her materialistic. I've met your kind before. I stood up. Not to buy the coffee. To leave. I said, this has been fine. He said, you heading out? I said, yeah, I got work. He looks at his phone, like we haven't been here half an hour, and goes, yeah, I was gonna head out too. You're kinda low energy. Low energy. From the man who didn't even hydrate me. I said, Or you're just used to girls performing for you. He said, No, it's just, I'm not used to someone so chill. I said, I'm Australian. We're not doing backflips for a man who didn't buy coffee. He does that Nigerian Brit chuckle, that I'll allow it laugh, and goes, I thought you were going to be like, no offense, more exotic. I said, I thought you were going to be taller. We were even. On the walk back to the car, he tries to salvage it. I don't usually date black girls. Always a bad sentence starter. But I like your vibe. I said, I do date black men. I also like my coffee paid for. We all have preferences. He goes, don't be like that. It was a coffee date, it's casual. I said, exactly. It was casual. You still failed. So, this was a Saturday, summer, downtown, lots of tourists, food trucks, couples, kids, vibes. We'd been talking maybe a week. He was cute in an I lift, and I want you to know I lift way. You know those guys who wear slightly too tight shirts, so you can see the arm vein? That. He was funny on text, called me a couple times, seemed normal. We said we'd just walk around downtown, grab boba, people watch. Chill date. I wore the cute sundress and sneakers combo, hair up, lip gloss, ready to be a soft girl. He shows up on time, smelling nice, dressed decent. I was like, okay, maybe this one isn't going to be traumatic. God loves to humble me. We're walking, talking, everything is fine. Then we get to this part of downtown where the street performers hang out. The guys who dance, juggle, do magic, whatever. Busy area. And there's this one guy with a mic, a speaker, and too much confidence, doing that crowd circle thing. He's getting people to stop, clap, and then he starts inviting people into the circle. My date immediately puffs up. Stands taller. Smiles bigger. Starts doing that loud laugh so other people look. Those guys that just need strangers to think they're fun. That. I was like, okay, he's extroverted, no big deal. The performer is like, I need a couple. I need a couple. Where's a couple? And before I can even blink, my date throws his hand up like we are on The Price is Right. I looked at him like, we are on our first date. He looks at me and goes, come on, babe, it'll be fun. Babe? Babe where? But now the crowd is looking, so I can't be like abort. I get dragged into the circle. The performer clocks us immediately. He goes, oh, y'all cute. Y'all together? I say, very clearly, first date. I wanted that on the record. He goes, first date? Oh, we gone test him. Why did he say that? He starts doing his little show, tosses a hat in the air, people clap. Then he goes, we gonna do a trust test. A loyalty test. I said, no, we're not. He said, yes, we are, loudly crying face. He starts asking my date questions. You love her? And my date goes, yeah. I said, you don't even know my middle name. Crowd laughs. Performer laughs. My date laughs, but it's a little tight because now he doesn't have control. Then the performer, I still hate him for this, looks at my date and goes on the mic. All right, big man, what's your girl's name? I said, don't do this. He said, we doing this. My date goes, it's and I'm looking at him like SIR. We just hugged. We just said our names. He says my name wrong. Not completely wrong, but like he added a random syllable. The crowd collectively went, ugh. You know that, when someone gets roasted? That. Performer goes, you don't even know her name and you calling her baby? And I was like, thank you, stranger. Then it got worse. Performer goes, okay, we gonna see how much he like you. I'ma bring some other ladies in. I said, no, we don't need. But he's already pulling two girls from the crowd, tourists, cute, midriff out, summer body, and lines them up. He says to my date, okay, player, you on a first date. You see these ladies. You gotta keep your eyes on your woman. You ready? This man said, oh yeah, I can do that, loudly crying face. Performer tells the girls to walk past him slow. And my date looks like full neck swivel. Didn't even try to lie. Didn't even try to pretend. Just slightly smiling face, backhand index pointing right, medium skin tone eyes. Crowd. Oi ch. Performer. We got a cheater on aisle 3. Me, standing there like woman standing, medium skin tone. I tried to laugh it off, but in my head I'm like, okay, you can't even stay locked in for 0.4 seconds? On a first date? In front of me? In front of God? Then the performer, because he is messy, goes, okay, last test. What's your girl's favorite position? Woman face palming, medium skin tone. I said, SIR, this is a family area. Crowd is dying. My date is like, And the performer goes, "Don't look at her, just say it." And this idiot says loudly, from the back. I turned and looked at him like, "You don't even know if I like men. Why would that be your first answer? On a first date? In public?" He has never even seen my bed. He hasn't even seen my socks. He went straight to bend her over. "Sir, I could be a lights-off, slow, mission-only girl. You don't know me." Performer is howling. Crowd is clapping. Kids are clapping. I am reconsidering Earth. Performer hands him the mic and goes, "Did she say that was her favorite?" My date, instead of lying, goes, "I mean, that's my favorite. Sir." So now I'm embarrassed, sexualized, and I have to stand here and smile like it's fine. I'm standing in a sundress in front of strangers, while a man I barely know announces that he wants to clap me from behind. YouTube friendly, we will call it redecorating the walls. That's what he wanted to do. Then the performer turns it on me. "Okay, Queen, if you don't know yours, what's your favorite?" I grabbed that mic and said, "My favorite is someone who knows my name." And the crowd went crazy, and I felt vindicated for 0.2 seconds. Show ends, people tip him. And this man, the one who just got roasted, just got called out, just embarrassed me, pulls out $1. One. And tosses it into the hat like he just gave 100. Performer looks at him like, $1? For all that content? I was like, honestly, bill him. He was the show. We walk away. And I'm thinking, okay, awkward moment, we can laugh and move on. Instead, he goes, "You kinda embarrassed me back there." I said, "Me?" He said, "Yeah, you didn't have to say that line about the name." I said, "You didn't have to expose your lil kink in front of children." He's like, "It's not a kink, that's just what I like." I said, "You don't get to like anything with me yet. You're at 0 lives." Then, because men cannot help themselves, he goes, "Low-key, that performer was disrespectful. I should have said something." Oh, you should have what? To the man with the mic, the crowd, and the acrobatic friends? You were not going to do anything. You were going to take your $1 and keep walking. We keep strolling, trying to recover the vibe, but the energy is off now. I'm seeing him clearer. He's one of those dudes who performs confidence, but actually loves validation from strangers. That's why he volunteered us. That's why he looked at the girls. That's why he said the backshot thing. He wanted the men in the crowd to think he was that guy. We sit down at a bench. I'm already planning my exit. And he goes, "You know, I did say from the back, but like, I can be romantic too." I said, "I don't want to know what you can be. I want to know why you couldn't look at me for 5 seconds. He tries to flip it. "You sounded a little jealous when those girls walked by." I said, "No, baby. I sounded a little embarrassed. If I wanted to be jealous, I would have worn heels." And then this is the part that sealed it. He goes, "You know what? This is why I don't do public dates. People always in your business." I said, "You volunteered, US." He got quiet after that. We walked back toward the parking. He tried to be normal again, tried to hold my hand, but I was already out. When we got to my car, he did the, "When can I see you again?" thing. I said, "When you can remember my name on the first try." He laughed like I was joking. I was not. Okay, so this one is so unsexy that it did the opposite of birth control. It made me not want to date at all. I was in my, I'm gonna be single and healed and mysterious era, right? Like I wasn't even dating. I wasn't on the apps. I was journaling, going to Pilates, minding my business, trying not to collect any more male-related lore. And then, as always, a man slid into my Instagram. He wasn't random. We had like 2 mutuals, so I was like, okay, you're not a serial killer on level 10, maybe just level 3. He was cute in his photos, he talked nice, and he was very, I would treat you right. Not thirsty, just persistent. I was bored. So I said yes. He's like, let's do something chill. Coffee. I said, perfect. Coffee is safe. Coffee is cheap. Coffee is 45 minutes. You can leave. Also, if I don't like you, I didn't waste an outfit. We meet at this cute coffee shop, very plant wall, very remote worker, very laptop dad with headphones. I pull up, I look cute, because I always do, but still casual. He's already sitting outside. Gives me a hug. He looks like his photos, praise God. A little more nervous in person, but I was like, okay, first date jitters. We order, or I order because he's still deciding. I get my iced latte, I sit. He comes back with his drink, and sits across from me like he's about to confess to a crime. And he literally goes, first 10 minutes. So, there's something I should tell you. And I'm like, okay? Like, sir, we are on oat milk and vibes. What could be this serious? He goes dead serious. I haven't, in 4 years. I blinked. You haven't what? He whispers like we're in church. I haven't finished. Like at all. Not with anyone. Not even by myself. I'm sitting there with my straw-like neutral face. My brain is doing 100 things at once. Like, why are you telling me this on a first date? Why are we talking about your output before we even know each other's middle names? Why did you lead with that and not, I work in tech? I go, for years is a long time. He nods, very dramatic. Yeah, I had like a trauma. So it's just been blocked. And I do have empathy, okay? We all have things. So I'm like, okay, thanks for telling me. Thinking in my head, I don't know you like that, but okay, transparency king. I thought he was sharing, not setting up the jump scare. So we keep talking. And honestly, conversation was fine. He was a little intense, but lots of people are after a long break. He asked about my work. I asked about his. We talked about lockdown, family, silly stuff. Totally normal date. Then, and this is where it starts getting weird, he starts staring at me. Like staring. Not looking. Not admiring. Staring. The kind of stare where you become aware of your own mouth. I'm mid-sentence like, yeah, so I moved during the PA. And I just stop. Because he's looking at me like I'm a cupcake. I laugh it off. What? He goes, just don't look at me like that. I said, like what? Because I was smiling. I have a face. That's all. He goes, like that. Stop. Seriously. And he kind of squirms in his seat. In my head I'm like, oh no. Oh no, oh no. Not here. Not now. Not at Blue Bottle. I try to move the convo. So anyway, he cuts me off. No, for real, don't. You're making it worse. Worse? Bestie. I look down. This man is breathing different. Shoulders up. One leg bouncing. He's gripping the cup like it did something to him. I'm like, you good? You need water? You need prayer? He leans back, closes his eyes for like 1.5 seconds, and then goes, under his breath, oh F, but like PG-13 version. And then I see it. I see his face relax. I see his whole body go from tense to awe. And I realize this man just came. In. His. Pants. At a coffee shop. With toddlers and remote workers and women named Ashley answering emails. I froze. I didn't even know what to do because there is no etiquette for man ejaculated across from you at 11:47 a.m. Like Emily Post did not cover that. He opens his eyes and looks at me like I did it. Like I cast a spell. And he goes with a little smile. I told you. I told you I haven't in 4 years. Sir, that is not the victory you think it is. And I know someone's gonna be like, maybe it was an accident, maybe he couldn't help it. That's fine. Bodies are bodies. But the way he did it, the way he warned me, like he was low-key excited to tell the story after, that's what made it creepy. This was giving, I like doing this in public and telling women they made me. That's fetish energy, not trauma energy. I'm trying so hard not to look at his lap. Because I was not about to make eye contact with the scene of the crime. I'm just staring at the trees like, so weather, huh? He starts giggling. Giggling. Like a little. And then he goes, don't worry, it's fine. It's fine? You just made a frappuccino in your jeans, and it's fine? I said, do you want to go clean up? He goes, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. Like we're gonna continue. Like we're gonna SIT here and talk about zodiacs while he's sitting in his own consequence. At this point I'm texting under the table like, 911. This man just busted in his pants at Phil's. Come get me. My friend is calling me, I ignore, I'm panicking. I don't even know how to exit because he's sitting between me and the door. And I don't want to make a scene because we're in public. And I also don't want to embarrass him because low-key, he kinda embarrassed himself enough. He keeps talking, like casually, about movies, about his gym, about how he doesn't usually tell people that. Sir, you didn't tell me, you demonstrated it. Then, and this is when I knew it was calculated, he goes, I've just never met someone who looked at me like that. Like, you made me feel wanted. I said, I was listening. He said, yeah, that's what did it. So now you're telling me a woman paying attention to you is enough to make you nut in a Starbucks? That's not cute. That's scary. That means every barista is at risk. I was like, okay, well, I should get going. He's like, already? Already? What do you mean already? You already reached the finish line, champ. You lapped me, the date, the coffee, everyone. He goes, do you want to go for a walk? I said, no. He goes, my place is close. I said, I bet it is. Girl, you're not ready for this one. So context, because context matters. I was in my I guess I'll say yes to men who actually ask me out era. I'm in grad school, I'm broke, living in SoCal, mostly hanging out with my cousins and working, and this man hits me up on Hinge. Older. Like clearly older. Divorce vibes. But he looked decent. Tan, golfy, contractor-looking dude, like he lives in Orange County and owns too many polos. He was giving. I had a boat in 2009, and he was actually very polite in the app. No weird emojis, no WYD. Full sentences. I was like, okay Tio, we can talk. He's like, let me take you to dinner. Real dinner. Not coffee. And I was like, okay, sure, feed me, sir. I pick a Mexican spot cause I'm not about to be eating raw fish with a stranger. Plus, I know the area, I know the staff. If he's weird, I can literally speak Spanish to the waitress and she will help me escape. Safety first. I get there first, obviously, because I'm a punctual queen. I'm in my little dress, hoops, hair blown out, smelling good. My cousins are in the group chat like, send the plate, send the plate. I send the location, the pic, all of it. I'm like, if I get trafficked, it was this man in cargo shorts. He pulls up and y'all, he is older than the pictures. Not like catfish, more like you used good lighting. He's got that OC tan, a little red, crow's feet, like 55-ish, divorced for sure. Button-down shirt, jeans, belt, cologne from Macy's. He hugs me hello and I'm like, okay, not bad, not creepy, we can do dinner. We sit. Chips and salsa come. You know, the first few minutes of a date where you do the warm-up. How was traffic? Do you live around here? How long have you been on the apps? That part. We are in that part. This man leans in. Like elbows on the table, leans in, looks around like he's about to tell me about a cartel, and goes, I swear on all my cousins. So, is the kitty cat shaved? I stopped chewing. I literally looked at him, looked at the chips, looked at the waiter, looked back. I said, I'm sorry. Like maybe I misheard him. Maybe he said, is the city safe? I don't know. He smiles. This stupid little, I'm a naughty boy smile. I just like things neat. You know. And then he does the little hand wave like he's describing countertops. Countertops. Sir, you're not talking about a granite island. You're talking about my coochie in a family restaurant. I said, we're not even on the drinks part yet. Because we weren't. It was water on the table. Just water and salsa. We hadn't ordered. We hadn't even pretended to look at the menu. He goes, well, I'm just very clean. I like a woman who's tidy down there. And he actually points downward. Like under the table. Like I was gonna slide it across to show him. I pull my phone out so fast. I text my cousin, bitch, he just asked if my P*** why was shaved. I actually wrote the word, but we're YouTube friendly. She immediately calls me. I ignore. She texts, leave. I text back, wait cause it gets worse. Because it did. I'm trying to stay calm cause I'm literally hungry. I wanted my fajitas. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just socially stupid. Older men sometimes don't know how to flirt with women under 35. Maybe he thought this was sexy. I can pivot. I can say, that's a little personal for 5 minutes in. And he will laugh, apologize, we move on. I go, that's kind of an intense question for just meeting me. He goes, well, I'm a straight shooter. My ex-wife used to say that. I just like to know what I'm dealing with. I'm a contractor. I like things organized. He actually said that. He actually compared my vagina to a job site. I am already done. I'm like, I'm gonna eat 2 chips and fake an emergency. Then the universe said, no, let me add some seasoning. Waiter drops off more chips. He grabs a chip, and he bites it like the crunchy, thick kind. And I hear a sound. Like not a normal chip sound. A weird sound. And I see something. Fall. 4 teeth. Onto the table. I am not exaggerating. 4 little teeth. Like a set. Front-ish. They bounced. On the table. Next to the salsa. I almost called the coroner. I'm staring like I mouth-eye. He doesn't flinch. Not even a little. He doesn't go, oh my God. He doesn't cover his mouth. He doesn't grab a napkin. He doesn't excuse himself. This man picks up his teeth. Drops them in his water. Swishes like he's cleaning dentures in a cartoon. Pulls them back out. And pops them back in. I had to look away. My stomach actually flipped. I was like, I cannot do this. Not with chips. Not with salsa. Not with this man asking about my kitty, and then washing his teeth in Dasani. No. He goes, sorry about that. Temporary. Like that made it better. Like temporary. cancels out the fact that I just watched your mouth jump out of your head. He keeps talking like nothing happened. Anyway, like I was saying, I just like women who take care of themselves smooth, you know? You look like you do. Sir, you just bathed your teeth in public. At this point I start planning my exit. I do the classic, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I pick up my bag. I go to the bathroom. I text the group chat. I send 14 messages in a row. He asked about my cat. His teeth fell out. He rinsed them. He put them back in. I'm leaving. IDK if I should tell the waiter. My cousin is like, we are coming. I'm like, no, I'll just ghost him. I fix my lip gloss. I stall. I'm like, do I say something? Do I confront him? Do I say, you're gross? Or do I just walk out like a queen and never speak again? I decide, I'm gonna go back, leave money for water, say, I gotta run, and leave. That's it. I come back out, and this man is gone. Gone. Like not at the table. Not at the bar. Not outside. He vanished. Like he realized how insane he was and self-evaporated. There's the table. Chips. Salsa. His water with tooth juice. But no man. I literally laughed. Out loud. The waiter looked at me like he left. I said, I see that. He said, do you want to stay? I said, absolutely not. I left the waiter a tip because I didn't want him to have to touch the tooth water for free. Then I left. Got in my car. Sat there. Stared at the steering wheel. And just started laughing like a crazy person. Because let's break this down. We had been sitting for maybe 20 to 25 minutes. He had already asked me about the landscaping of my private area. He had already made it a preference thing. I like it neat. I like it smooth. Like, okay, thermostat. Calm down. Then he physically fell apart at the table. Then he left me. Sir, you should be embarrassed. You should be getting in your car sending the sorry that was awkward text. You should be Venmo ING me for emotional damages. Not me. And the creepiest part? It was a test. You can tell. You can tell when men do this. He wanted to see if I'd blush, if I'd giggle, if I'd say, yeah, I stay waxed winking face, so he knows he can push further. It's a sexual boundary test. If she answers this, I can ask for pics. If she answers this, I can invite her over. If she answers this, I can treat her like hookup energy even though this is a dinner date. Except he did it too soon. On water. No rapport. No chemistry. Zero warm-up. Just, is the kitty cat shaved? Like he was ordering queso. And then the tooth thing? That was almost like the universe showing me the inside of him. Like, this is what it looks like under the polished OC contractor surface. Messy. Unsanitized. Confident for no reason. I swear to you, I did not think this man was going to give me 1950s segregation energy over wings and football, but here we are. So we'd only been talking a couple days. Real light. What team do you support? Where in the city are you? Oh, you got a dog, cute. He seemed normal. Like, aggressively normal. Not fine, but tall, clean, funny in texts. Sunday rolls around, I'm bored, he's like, let's go watch the game, grab a drink. Daytime date, public place, loud TVs, safe. I'm like, sure. I show up, I look cute casual, jeans, cropped sweatshirt, hair up, lip gloss. He stands when I walk in, points for manners. We hug, sit at the bar. Bartender's like, what can I get you? I get a drink, he gets a drink, we're watching football. And it's fine. Not magical. But fine. Then, because football always turns into, so what's your type, we start talking dating history. I don't even ask him his number, because I don't care. We're grown. I just say something like, yeah, I dated this one guy last year, didn't end great, but whatever. He goes, oh yeah, what was he like? I say, completely regular, completely unbothered, he was black. This man stops chewing, like fork in the air, eyes on me, looks at me like I said, he was a lizard in a human suit. And he goes, wait, you slept with a black guy? I said, yeah? I'm an adult. He leans back, shakes his head, starts mumbling like, wow. I'm thinking, okay, so he's weird, but he's gonna self-correct. Nope. He goes, louder this time, UF asterisk at a black man? With his full chest. At a bar. On a Sunday. With families present. I said, first of all, language. Second, why do men think we all dried up and sat on a shelf waiting for them? I had a life pre-you. I had sex pre-you. Very good, very healthy, very consensual sex, actually. He starts going on this little racist rant, not even subtle. I don't do that. I don't share with them. That's dirty. I can't believe you would do that. Like I'd told him I bite puppies. I'm staring at him like, you invited me here. You asked me out. You did not ask my hymen out. So now I'm planning my exit. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I fully intended to ghost him in real life, leave cash for my drink, walk to my car, block. I go to the bathroom, check my hair, come back out. This man is gone. He ghosted me. He literally left. Just walked out. Like he punished me. Like, that'll teach her for sleeping with people of other races. Baby, you did me a favor. I sat at the bar, finished my drink, tipped the bartender, and ended up talking to her like, girl, he found out I slept with a black man and dipped. She was like, then he wasn't gonna make you come anyway. And she was right. If he's mad at who you used to ride, he was never gonna ride you right. I need you to understand how unserious Miami men, even the famous ones, actually are. So, I get asked out by this actor. Not, your cousin did a web series actor. Like, you've seen him. You'd recognize him at the airport. He's not A-list, but he's very, oh that's him. He's Caribbean American, loud, charming, talks fast, got that island cadence, very mommy, very I'm that guy. We'd run into each other at an event, he DM'd, we vibed. I was like, okay, I'm in Miami, I'm cute, I'm bored, let's go. I pick one of my best outfits, which, yes, is Fashion Nova. Because 1, I work with them, and 2, it be looking good, IDC what anybody says. It was one of those chocolate 2-pieces that hugs every single curve, low neckline, long hair, gold hoops, soft glam. I looked like a Dominican baddie on purpose. I was like, let me show up and give him the Latina fantasy he probably wanted anyway. We pull up to this really nice place in Miami. You know the kind, valet, waterfront, loud music, entire restaurant and designer, everyone looking at everyone. And because he's recognizable, we get zero privacy. People are turning, whispering, pretending not to look. The servers are doing that extra smiley thing. And I'm already thinking, okay, this is kinda awkward. I don't love being stared at when I'm trying to eat, but whatever. I can be famous adjacent for one night. We sit. Drinks come. Vibe is okay. He's funny. He's animated. He's good at talking. Obviously, he's an actor. And it's Miami, so he's a little flirty with the waitress. But I let it go because I know how men with public attention are. They're used to performing. I'm like, just eat your food, smile, look cute, go home. Then, and I swear this is the first flag, he starts talking about women's outfits. Out of nowhere. We were talking about music. We were talking about Afro-Caribbean artists. Then he goes, you know what I hate though? I hate when girls wear that cheap Fashion Nova stuff like it's high-end. Like, stop lying. That's not Chanel, baby. I'm sitting there. In Fashion Nova. That I tagged. That I literally got paid to wear. I blinked. I took a sip. I said, oh yeah. He keeps going. Like, why you out with a celebrity, and you not giving me designer? You not giving me couture? I'm bringing you to a spot, and you giving me polyester. I like my women looking elevated, feel me? I said very calmly, very smiling, this is Fashion Nova. He froze. For like half a second. Then he did that fake laugh men do when they think they're so charming you won't call them on it. Nah, on you it looked good though. On you it looked like money. And then he tries to flip it. I mean, you pretty, you could wear anything. I'm just talking about these other girls. I said, I model for them. He said, word. I said, yeah. Like I post for them. I get paid. He said, oh, that's dope. I said, yeah, it pays for my lashes. So now we've established. He trash-talked the exact thing I was wearing, and instead of apologizing properly, he just tried to gas me like I'm the exception. That's a small thing, but it's a thing. That's how a lot of men are. They don't actually hate something. They just hate it on regular women. On you. It's different. I could have left it there. But then he decides he's Dr. Phil. We start talking about family, my family. I mention, again lightly, that I don't really talk to my dad like that. Latin households, complicated, distance, whatever. It's not a therapy session, it's just convo. He leans back, sips his drink, and goes, nah, you gotta fix that. Excuse me? He goes, life too short. You gotta just forgive him, mama. You can't hold that. Most of the time it be the moms telling y'all stuff, and y'all don't know the real story. You gotta give that man grace. I said, you don't even know what he did. He said, it don't matter. That's your father. I said, he wasn't a father. He said, still. That's the first king in your life. Sir, you just insulted Fashion Nova. You are not spiritually qualified. And that's when I knew, Oh, you're one of those men who love women in theory. You love daughter and queen and goddess words. But you don't actually listen to women's lives. You just apply your little podcast take to everyone. I let him talk. I was not about to tell a famous man at Komodo about my daddy issues. That's going in his group chat. I thought, okay, maybe that was the weird part. Maybe we'll pivot. Maybe we'll talk about movies. He's an actor, right? He's gonna talk about his craft. No. This man starts talking about Rihanna. Not, I love her music. Not, she's so successful. Not, Fenny is crazy. No. He goes, yo, Rihanna is on goddess level. Like if RH walked in here right now, it's over. I would do anything for that woman. I laugh, because everyone loves RH. I'm thinking he's gonna do the standard, she's a baddie thing. He does not stop. He's like, nah, like I would worship her. I would rub her feet. I would kiss the floor. I would pay bills. I would be quiet. I would hold the purse. I would be Mr. Rihanna. I would relocate. I said, you sound very ready. Face with tears of joy. He said, you don't get it. She's not like these other girls. She's Rihanna. She don't even gotta speak. She look at you and you know what time it is. I would literally, and don't judge me, I would literally get on my knees and he starts making little gestures with his hands, like he's about to describe some very non-PG things he would do to Rihanna. I said, we're in public. He said, I don't care. I'd tell anybody. I'd tell God. I'm sitting there like, I put on my nicest two-piece, curled my hair, did my lips, secured a babysitter for my dog, and I'm listening to a grown, semi-famous man describe how he would tongue-bathe Rihanna's kneecaps. In detail, while staring at me like I'm supposed to clap. And before y'all come for me, I love Rihanna. I would also throw myself at Rihanna. That's not the point. The point is you're on a date with me. I'm a human woman in front of you. I'm trying to figure out if you like cilantro. And you're telling me about how you would surrender your entire masculinity to a Barbados billionaire who does not know you exist. It just kept going. I'd learn how to cook Bajan food. I'd move to New York. I'd never look at another woman. I'd quit acting if she said so. I was like, wow, so the fantasy woman gets your obedience, your silence, your money, your attention, and the real woman gets opinions on Fashion Nova and Forgive Your Father. Do you see how that's creepy? That's the part that stuck with me. Men like that are so gentle in their minds with the fantasy woman, the unattainable, the celebrity, the global goddess, and so careless with the actual woman across from them. He had more reverence in his voice describing Rihanna's ankles than he had talking to me about, like, my actual childhood. That whole date was him talking past me. We finish eating, because I did finish, I'm not stupid, Miami food is expensive, and he's still low-key circling back to RH. Like, I just love women who don't need a man. That's so sexy. Okay, so why are you on a date? Like, if she told me come here, I'm there. You're already here. With me. He pays, obviously. He wasn't cheap, I'll give him that. He tipped right, spoke to everyone very charming. On paper, 10/10 date. But inside, I'd already mentally blocked him. You know that thing where you nod and smile, and your brain is like, we're done. That.